left the club tipsy. Say no more, say no more, say no more, except how I'm getting home tomorrow.
Cinema.
Whistling Dixie, middle school, I was getting head on the 10 speed. Sugarloaf bloodline, pimping the hereditary. Black on 28, it remind me of February. There you can vote with me.
Guys, what is up? Welcome to another episode of Maximilian Must Know. Today we're taking a look at one from the House of L'Artisan Parfumer. This one is called Timbuktu. This is my 8th review from this house. I own 10 bottles from this house. I have Wafarine, Coeur de Vetiver Sacre, Zing, Noir Exquis, Skin on Skin, Tea for Two. This one, Traversée du Bosphore, Vanille Absolument, and I still have to find a Zonka, which I seem to misplace when I moved. It might be gone, but I still have hopes that one day I'm going to find it. I still need to review Vanille Absolument, and if I find Zonka, I need to review that one as well. Are there bottles I'd still like to purchase from this house? Yeah, I would really like to get the exclusive fragrance they did for AIDS de Venustis. I'd like to get their Oud, Food Absinthe, I think is a really nice one. And if I can find L'Eau Navigateur for the right price. Recently, I haven't been super excited by the direction of this house. I really don't like the way the new bottles look at all. And they haven't released anything in some time that I thought was on par with the quality of their earlier releases, but that's probably a video for another time. If you're interested on the backstory on this house, which some people consider to be the first niche house ever, please check out the video that I did on Coeur de Vetiver Sacre, which is the first fragrance from this house that I ever reviewed. This fragrance came out in 2004. It was composed by the great Bertrand Duchaufour. Now, we know him from many famous fragrances across the board, from Jubilation 25 to Sartorial and Avignon and Enchanted Forest, but he's done a lot of L'Artisan's highly esteemed scents, including Oud, Zonka, Méchant Loup, Patchouli Patch, and Saffron Troublon. Notes on this fragrance are pink pepper, mango, and cardamom at the top, papyrus, incense, and caro carande, which is a white floral, in the middle, and patchouli, benzoin, vetiver, and myrrh in the base. Now, I got my 50 ml bottle for $51 from Lily Direct. They used to have older design bottles from L'Artisan for just great price points. This is an eau de toilette formulation, and you can currently find 100 ml bottles of this in that $50 range online. Old L'Artisan bottles, I feel like, are just great buys, super quality, and I really like the presentation. Now, the boxes are pretty much all the same for L'Artisan, at least the old boxes, minus the color scheme. And the bottles, I think, are beautiful. You have L'Artisan etched on the glass. You have Timbuktu there, eau de toilette. You have a very heavy gold cap, a nice sprayer, and it just looks, cap clicks in place. It just looks very classic and classy, and if you have a bunch of these lined up, it just looks beautiful. I remember going to the old L'Artisan boutique in Henry Bendel on Fifth Avenue. I'm sorry, I believe Madison Avenue or Fifth Avenue? It was Fifth Avenue. And just being really blown away by all the L'Artisan bottles lined up, all the testers lined up, and I wanted to have my own collection like that. 10 isn't, all the bottles in the world, but I still do like them all lined up. I just think they're very classy bottles. As far as the fragrance goes, I'm going to be real honest and say that this isn't my favorite L'Artisan scent, or one that I wear very often. Many people consider this to be the best from the brand. Luca Turin, perfume reviewer extraordinaire, gave this 5 stars in his book. And if you like vetiver, you're probably going to like this scent because it's a really nice vetiver scent. And I'll go so far to say that it's a really unique vetiver scent, which can sort of be a difficult trick to pull off. Most vetiver scents that I'm used to are either two ways. There are sort of these dandyish vetivers, like Vetiver by Guerlain and Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver, and even Givenchy's classic vetiver. And then there are these darker, smokier vetiver scents where you smell a lot of the root. So Encre Noire, Vetiver Extraordinaire, Cowboy Grass, Eau Sauvage Parfum. And this really kind of sits in the middle. You have this very dusty and dry vetiver paired with the papyrus note and just given a touch of sweetness and spice by pink pepper and green mango. And that's the top of this fragrance to a T. And then sitting under that is a really nice sort of silver clean frankincense with sweet resins and patchouli. It smells nice, and I bet there's a decent amount of naturals in here, and I don't think that a perfumer without a good amount of skill could create a fragrance of this quality. It's just not one that I love. You know, I keep waiting for that moment to click, and maybe I need to realize that that's just not going to happen. Performance is darn good for an eau de toilette, 6 to 8 hours, good development. That vetiver dries down a little bit, leaving you with that frankincense and those resins. Doesn't project like a beast, and that might be a good thing because this is sharp and strong and very green and dense. Vetiver can be associated with men's fragrances, but I do know a lot of women who like vetiver, and I think this one could be considered unisex, so it might lean a little bit more masculine. Ideally, this is one you can really get away with in 4 seasons, depending on how you wear it. And what I mean by that is a single spray could serve on a cool summer night, and conversely, in the depth of winter, you could go 3 or 4 sprays to really get some power out of this one. I think it's a casual fragrance, but I have to admit having a hard time finding real occasions to wear this. If you're interested in this but can't find it or want something like it, I don't think there's a ton of fragrances out there that smell like this. People on Fragrantica compare this to Rahale by Mila Vermeer Creations and Salvador Dali Pour Homme. I can't tell you whether that's true or not because I haven't smelled either of those scents. I find this to be unique. The wood and vetiver mix do remind me a bit of Terre de Hermes, to be honest, but I think Terre de Hermes is a better fragrance and an easier fragrance to wear. If someone were trying to talk you into purchasing this, I think they'd tell you that it's a different sort of vetiver fragrance. It's excellent quality, and it's a great price if you can get it discounted. I think if someone were trying to talk you into skipping this one, they'd tell you that might be difficult for you to wear. It's an overrated fragrance unless you love it, obviously, and you might find it overrated as well. I'm going to score this one a 6 out of 10. I think it's a great technical fragrance, but I don't love wearing it. I just don't think it smells that good. There are so many vetiver fragrances I prefer to this one. Vetiver Extraordinaire, the Guerlain, Christian Dior's Privé vetiver, just a few Raja Dove's vetiver extrait. I blind bought this based off what I heard about it, and I was pretty disappointed. So no matter what anyone says about a fragrance, be careful when blind buying and always sample if you can. So guys, that has been my review of Timbuktu by L'Artisan Parfumé. Hope you have enjoyed this review. I'll see you later this week with more videos. My name is
Now getting with her. 3 a.m. now splitting with her.
See them all. Now we speeding up the west side. Hand creeping up a left side. I'm ready to do it. Ready to bone. Ready for dome. 55th exit. Then